Rifftrax. Have a good tracks, better riffs I'm missing. Why you always gotta pick Rifftrax? It's your lucky day, it's time for Rifftrax.
Hello, I'm Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting, and welcome to episode 16 of Every Rifftrax Short Reviewed, where I take 5 Rifftrax shorts in chronological order, review them, and give them a rating between 1 and 5, with the points being good, great, awesome, fantastic, and spectacular, since I don't think a bad Rifftrax short exists. We have a really great batch of shorts this episode, and I'd actually forgotten how good a couple of them were, so let's dive right in with episode 16 of Every Rifftrax Short Reviewed.
But he will have a good home.
Number 76, An Aquarium in Action from March 29th, 2010.
Get the scissors, Robin. We can let the fish out now.
Yow! Those are killing scissors! Ow. Okay, let's get organized or we'll be eaten alive right away. So, first Eric, get back here, damn it!
Here we have an elementary school classroom where the students have brought in new fish for their tank. Throughout the short, we hear the children discussing just how fascinating their fish are. What I find fascinating here is just how many of these kids know absolutely everything about every species of fish in the tank.
Fish just love the soundtrack from Carnival of Souls.
You can see right through that one.
Yeah, he's such a phony.
That long dark line in his body is his backbone. His brain, stomach, and other organs are in a sac by his head. The rest of his body is used only for swimming.
You just described Michael Phelps.
Look at that one drinking.
Just like my dad.
He's breathing. It keeps him floating at any level he wants.
Jimmy Cavanaugh, 8-year-old ichthyologist.
Those whiskers help him sense things around him and help him find food.
They're called glass catfish.
What the hell is that?
Either the teacher or somebody hit puberty in a big hurry.
So in lots. No, we don't give them too much at one time.
Yeah, make them beg for it.
If you feed them more than they'll eat, the leftover food will rot and the fish will get sick. Start with just a little bit.
Once they get a taste, start charging them for it.
Let's get the extra food out before it rots.
Quickly, lives are at stake!
The algae eater spends most of his time looking for algae.
Coincidence? I don't think so.
For being called An Aquarium in Action, there isn't much action to speak of. It's actually a pretty chill short. In fact, you could see more action than this by just watching an anthill for a few minutes. Unlike watching an anthill, this short lets us see the guppy breeding and raising process.
That's a male and a female guppy. The male is brighter and smaller.
Whereas my wife likes to remind me that I'm larger and duller.
Let's set up a breeding tank for her. Richie will show you how. The main part will hold and protect the babies after they have been born.
It is not important to comb your hair before you do
The
this.
top part...
Wow. Is it possible that this aquarium has just a little too much action? Wow!
Don't move the net too fast. Come up slowly, then get her.
All I want is what I have coming to me. All I want is my fair share.
Now she's held. The closer we can keep it to a real pond, the better our fish will do. And the more fun we'll have watching them and learning about them.
We
Look, we have babies. They look just like big guppies, but they are so small.
Well, then they don't look just like big guppies, do they, you morons?
Oh, easy.
Sorry.
Overall, this is a pretty calm short with some pretty good riffs. I'm giving this one a 3.5 out of 5.
They sure are fun to watch.
Cockfights, I mean. These fish bore the hell out of me.
Number 77, Mr. Moto Takes a Walk from April 1st, 2010.
Mr. Moto, it's not very wise of you to go so close.
Yeah. Mr. Moto, what are you going to do about it? Scratch your ass against a tree?
You must
You got
stay out of
nothing.
his reach.
Yeah, that's right, run away. Remember the name, Mr. Moto, punk.
With no credits or title card, we're slammed right into our story here. We see a woman carrying around a monkey named Mr. Moto as they're strolling through their local zoo. The lady's obviously a little off, seeing as how she wonders aloud if her simian friend is thinking of the alphabet as they observe the animals. Like the short Little Lost Scent from the last episode, the guys give Mr. Moto quite the temper, just like they did with Gregory the skunk. And also like in that short, that's what really makes this one great.
You really think this is the best way home, Mr. Moto? On a camel?
I'm a monkey. What the hell are you asking me for?
The kinds of deer live in many parts of the world.
Hang on, Jimmy. I think they're stuck.
Let me just...
No. You don't move. Let me...
Get...
No.
Well, don't push. You're making it worse.
Calm down. I know what I'm doing here.
We're stuck.
God.
Did you hear that, Mr. Moto?
No, I had my iPod on too. Yes, I heard that.
2 elephants from it who looked like pink flowers on long, thin stems. Perhaps they made a
I'm
little
Mr.
bit too
Moto,
much
and you're
noise.
not. Suck it,
They began
flamingos.
to move. Suddenly, I remembered our alphabet. After F comes G.
What kind of person
we
suddenly
knew who
remembers
that would
the
be.
alphabet?
Me and you are really getting along, aren't we? Let's take this someplace private.
After J comes K. The kangaroo from Australia.
Home of uncanny knife
With a
discernment.
strong leg. But we just had to stay to watch the king of beasts himself.
Hey, Mr. Moto. Sorry, I ate Mrs. Moto.
Mane.
Hey, don't worry. She had it coming.
The woman ends up losing Mr. Moto and he runs around the zoo, yet she somehow seems to know exactly what he did while he was gone. But as established before, she's pretty nuts. In fact, she even asks an owl for help in finding Mr. Moto.
While I was looking in the monkey house, he had gone running down this path and that.
Someone help! That bizarre foods guy is trying to chill and eat my brains!
He found a sunny rock and rested there for a little while, watching, of all things, a newt.
Presumably, Mr. Moto related all this to her after the fact.
So I went to the little screech owl to see if he could help me.
He, of course,
He
could
had
not.
seen Mr. I wish you could talk, Quetzal, and tell me if you've seen Mr. Moto.
So Quetzal can't talk, but the owl and her had a lengthy conversation. Yeah.
Tigers come from India.
Thank you.
They can be very dangerous animals.
Fortunately, the terrified Mr. Moto is held firmly in place by his restraining leash.
You sold us out, Moto!
We're in here because of you!
Mr. Moto was looking at a strange bird.
The Skeksis.
While he was busy, I went ahead of him, put out an alphabet block to tempt him.
Years of carrying this block around finally
and hid
paid
behind
off.
a tree. I think the zebra saw me, but this one from Africa didn't think it important enough to warn Mr. Moto.
I hope he gets the chair.
A wacky short which teaches basically nothing, this entry gets a 3 out of 5.
He'd been through the whole alphabet, from aardvark to zebra, even though he couldn't read a word.
His crippling illiteracy would cause Mr. Moto deep shame throughout the rest of his life.
Shame which...
Number 78, Seatbelts, the Life-Saving Habit, from April 5th, 2010.
Of course.
Auto crashes are the leading cause of death for Americans under the age of 34, running ahead of such well-known killers as cigarettes,
The leading cause of mustache fires.
alcohol, fattening foods,
Fattening alcohol.
and firearms.
We couldn't find a scarier gun.
It's time to join a narrator who's going to teach us all about the safety of buckling up. He compares the risk of getting into a car accident to the risks you take when gambling all your money in casinos to try to convince several idiots that car safety is actually important. Now, even with the betting analogy, you'd think a short like this would be like, what, 7 minutes max, right? Well, this one clocks in at 18 minutes. But that doesn't bother me any, since this is one of my absolutely favorite Rifftrax shorts.
Taking a chance, going for broke.
Pawning your wedding ring.
For some of us, risking spare change on a roll of the dice is a way to add spice to life.
Yeah, the spice of money.
But when you play the tables, all that's usually at stake is your cash.
Or if you're really living, a firstborn child.
Cars. They're such a familiar part of our lives that we tend to take them for granted.
Just like our wives.
Hi-oh!
Driving or riding is by far the most risky activity we do.
Besides eating at Denny's.
Of course.
Persuading people like you and me to buckle up is still an uphill struggle.
We're a country of idiots.
When I climb out of the car, I don't want to look like a sack of potatoes that's just been through the ringer.
Looking like a non-ringered sack of
Bottom
potatoes
line?
is fine.
But when you're on the go like I am, buckling the belt, then unbuckling it again, it just takes too much time.
Hey, you want to close the door?
No time.
If I've got to drive, I'll just be extra careful.
Hey, it's been working for the past 98 years.
The Commodore 6.4.
Safety belts? Me? No, I don't bother with them. Why?
I'm too cool.
I mean, when I'm buckled in, there's still so much play in the belt that if I want to lean forward, I can touch my head to the dashboard.
My Jufro takes care of the rest.
Yeah, that's gonna...
It's not gonna happen to me.
Maybe not.
Good enough for me. Let's Tokyo
Accidents
Drift,
happen
baby!
to all kinds of The odds that any one of us will be seriously injured in a crash are close to 1 in 3.
So always keep a loaded gun handy to shoot those maniacs before they hit you.
The belt should fit snugly across your lap, holding your clothes flat without wrinkling them.
Your dress will still be heinously ugly, however. Nothing the belt can do for that. Sorry.
This short is just a riot through the whole thing. After the first half, where the narrator tries to convince the adults how to protect themselves, we see that these adults are too stupid to even take care to protect their own children.
It's expensive and a whole lot of trouble, too. You know, installing those things.
Help! Someone call protective
I've got
services.
enough on
I
my
don't have
hands
much
as it
time.
is. With a-
Kids, I don't give them a second thought.
They can't even
I got
vote!
one of my own and...
Wait, what are you doing? Get out of my car! I don't know you!
I just pile them in the back of the wagon along with all of their gear.
Little straw, dish of water, throw some raw meat in there every few hours. Yeah, the system works.
And if, God forbid, I run into anything on the road, well, at least they'll be safe and sound where they are.
Okay.
We'll have to pre-arrest you, sir.
At just 24 miles per hour, a 10-pound child exerts a force of over 200 pounds against the parent's arm.
Babies are made of unstable star matter.
May feel, and the cost of the seat plus the few minutes it takes to install it.
Listen and weep as the announcer begs the parents to love their children.
Auto collisions, many of them minor by adult standards, are frequently fatal for children.
And for ramping up the sadness and nightmares, I thank you once again.
Could be prevented with proper...
What if we made small voodoo dolls of you and tortured them? You think you'd listen to us then?
Here's what can happen to an unbelted driver in a 35-mile-per-hour crash into a wall.
My hair!
Hey, okay, wear a belt if you want to. Get safety seats for the kids. It's all right with me. After all,
Doughy
this is
guy
a free
seal of
country.
approval.
For quite the dark subject matter, Mike, Kevin, and Bill keep us laughing the whole time, and this one definitely gets a 5 out of 5.
If I'm in a crash, I'd rather take my chances being thrown clear of the wreck than being tied down inside by the safety belt.
I enjoy shaking
After
hands
all,
with danger.
Suppose there's a fire, or the car goes into the water.
Number 79, Drawing for Beginners, The Rectangle, from April 26th, 2010.
Drawing for beginners, because drawing for drooling morons seemed a bit harsh.
I myself am no artist, I'll tell you that right now. However, I'm pretty sure even someone like me who specializes in stick figures could figure out how to draw with rectangles on my own. Because that's really all this is, just learning how to draw things that feature rectangles. What that tells me is that Young American Films had budgeted for a bit too much that year and had to use up the money somewhere.
We are going to learn how to draw pictures starting with a rectangle.
Assuming you've already mastered breathing.
Is usual. You can make a rectangle any size or proportion you wish.
Wait, I haven't seen how paper works.
We will start this drawing with a rectangle.
A what now?
Of course, every house has a door, which is another rectangle.
Hey, whoa, slow down, Harvard.
And a doorknob, too.
A circular rectangle.
A chimney. We'll fix that right away.
And you can burn in hell if you think this problem can't be solved with a rectangle.
Start with a rectangle, but have it standing upright.
Are we allowed to do that?
I don't know. We need a more rudimentary film, damn it.
This is Little Willie.
Little Willie Horton, eager to ruin Michael Dukakis' campaign.
He wants to see what kind of a day it is.
And desperately needs a comb.
Too bad.
I'm sure this film is for kids, but holy cow is this thing basic. The premise alone is inherently funny, but the riffs put that hilarity over the edge.
We will put the hand at our favorite station and listen to the baseball game.
Unless we live in Kansas City, in which case we'd rather listen to the Farm Report.
Now for a real challenge, we're going to draw a brick.
To pull a wagon, you need a handle. Let us draw the handle.
Remember, lines are just very flat rectangles.
Now divide the rectangle in half.
For more on the concept of half, see the film Fractions for Suckers.
Let's draw a cross in the bottom part of the rectangle.
Now it's a filthy word in semaphore.
Now let us draw a flag.
Dare we?
This time we will start with now attach a rectangle to the flagpole.
Imagine how hard life was before rectangles were invented.
Each star represents a different state in the Union.
Feel free to leave off those pikers, Alaska and Hawaii.
And this little touch on top of the flagpole.
For displaying the heads of the enemy.
There are many pictures that can be drawn starting with a rectangle.
Such as this rye crisp.
Can you draw?
This short is so ridiculous and the guys take every riffing advantage. This absurd lesson gets a 5 out of 5.
Your tax dollars at work, ladies and gentlemen.
Number 80, Kittens, Birth and Growth, from April 29th, 2010.
Bailey Films, a division of the Bailey Building and Loan.
You call this a happy family? Why do we have to have all these kittens? dread.
The short opens with a pair of young siblings rushing home to see their cat Millie, who's about to have babies. The kids even have a calendar counting down the days leading up to the birth of the kittens. Finally, one night, the moment arrives, and the children have to help look after the new litter after seeing the entire graphic birth before their very eyes.
The children fold and place a soft blanket in a box for Millie.
Billy expresses a desire to also sleep in a box, which greatly worries his mother.
That night, Father is reading a story to the children before bedtime.
The Road by Cormac McCarthy.
The road passed through a stark black burn, charred and limbless trees.
Millie has been restless all evening.
I don't know, sis. I think Kennedy had it coming.
Come quickly, Millie is having a kitten. The children hurry.
Billy panics and squeezes the tube of toothpaste into his ear.
Mother keeps a record of the kittens as they are born.
It's the most exciting thing she's done in years.
One white, a little black one is already hunting for a place to nurse.
Millie decides it's her least favorite.
Horrified by what they've seen, 2 childhoods ended tonight.
See how Millie cleans her kitten.
Begrudgingly.
4 kittens in all.
3 more children than Mother ever wanted.
Robin thinks they look funny, like rats.
Robin finds vermin hilarious.
Billy says the kittens are nursing contentedly.
The peaceful scene is only interrupted by Father loudly demanding another whiskey from the living room.
Robin and Billy leave for bed.
But there will be no sleep tonight, only the silent questioning of God's existence.
The next several minutes are spent just watching the kittens grow up. Not much happens, but they're cute enough scenes, I guess. But once again, the real magic comes with how dark the jokes are here. We can't let things be sweet for too long, can we?
The kitten's eyes are closed tight. They cannot see.
Nevertheless, Father orders a temporary halt of all illegal activity in the house.
So, Mew appears to be their main point.
Yes, Mew.
The kittens drink their mother's warm milk.
And when nobody's looking, so does Billy.
10 days old today.
The children lost interest 4 days ago.
In a few more days, and when the kittens are about 3 weeks old, Robin and Billy hear a loud mewing.
A kitten has gained access to a megaphone and was using it to loudly denounce our involvement in Vietnam.
One is falling out. The children are very wise. They use both hands to pick up the kittens.
Such wisdom!
When the kittens are 1 month old, the children take them out of doors on warm spring days.
Within minutes, 2 have been carried off by a hawk.
Robin wonders if they're ready to drink cow's milk.
Or, as the rest of the world calls it, milk.
Not yet.
Irish it up first, Toots.
The little gray one doesn't want to stop.
He responds violently when his brothers suggest he may be addicted, lashing out with personal attacks.
And now, for a cozy nap.
Which, if Garfield has taught us anything, will only be interrupted by the smell of John baking a lasagna.
Robin and Billy have talked to the mothers and fathers of their playmates. They have found good homes for each kitten.
Billy thoroughly vetted each home with a rigorous interview.
The children watch the tape.
And we believe he was going to say, watch the Taylor Swift Thanksgiving Hoedown Special on ABC.
This is another great short, and it gets a 4.5 out of 5.
Millie's family has grown. The kittens are 2 months old. They no longer need their mother.
An emotionally distraught Millie attempts suicide.
As always, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry that I got a little behind again this week. It's actually because I've been working ahead on a lot of other videos, so hopefully after this week I won't get behind again, at least not because of school. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later.
It's time